Hi guys, it's Carrie. How are you today? I just had to do this video because I've been doing some research this morning. I really wanted to get a really good idea on polls. You hear so much about polling and this and that and this and that. So I decided to jump out today and really get a cross section of what the polls are saying. And what astounds me about this, as well as our broken and corrupt journalism industry, is this polling industry doesn't seem to be much better. And that's really depressing. As if we don't have enough corruption and lack of factual information in our society based upon what has happened to our journalistic industry. Now what I'm seeing in the polling industry is mirrored from the journalism industry. And my only conclusion after looking at 60 some polls today is they're compromised and in the left's pocket as well. Now, I don't know about the right. I can't find any glaring information about the right, but it is glaring information about the left. It astounds me that you have very few polling companies, whatever they're called, pollsters, who are obviously neutral. I think you can count on maybe five fingers, who I saw this morning that had no leaning left or no leaning right. They were just strictly down the middle, and that's all they were doing is regurgitating information that they've collected through contacting the people that they're polling, whether that be verbally or using social media or whatever other tools that they use. And I could only find 5. Every single other pollster that I looked at, even when you read the title of their poll, it's glaringly obvious that they are left operatives. They're owned by the left. What is astounding, and what I found this morning that just absolutely is scary, to be quite honest with you, the difference between the neutral polls and the rest of these polls that I found today, this slant left is astounding. It's 6, 7, 8 point difference versus the 5 companies that I looked at whose reputation is that they are down the road. They don't have an investment either direction. They are just simply regurgitating the numbers and providing quality, factual-based results. The difference is staggering. And the only logical conclusion that I can come up with, because it's the only logical conclusion that anybody can come up if they read and do this investigation, is that these pollsters on the left, they're just spewing whatever numbers they decide to formulate and control. They're not reporting real numbers. They're not reporting honest facts here again. So not only do we now have the left's propaganda machine, but now we have the left and the left's pollsters that they obviously have in their pocket too. This is why one of the most important things that I'm going to start talking about is making sure that every single American talks to their local, state, and national officials to make sure that there are no restrictions, no controlling mechanism of the internet and access to social media. We've had two major political, whatever you want to call them, people, Clinton and Obama have both come out recently and said they feel like there needs to be more control on what access the average American has access to. Did you know that? Did you know they actually think that they're entitled to tell you and I what you and I are allowed to go and research and find out on our own? This is astounding. And we've heard a little bit about it, but we certainly haven't heard a lot about it. This is vital. You and I, as Americans, we have to have the right to go and research and get our own information based upon our own research without depending on the left or the right, for that matter, in censoring or restricting what you and I can go find. Because our news mechanism that we had up until the 80s or 90s, we could still trust them to be able to give us the real deal, to give us the facts. We can't trust that anymore. We can't. There's very, very few in the alternate space, and what I mean by that is in the alternate space of the left and the right, who really are down the road, non-leaning, factual-based reporting and polling and all the things that you and I need. So when we have a question because we can't get the truth from the parties that be, we have the right and the privilege from the Constitution to be able to go out onto the internet and find what we need to find. This is a major, major deal. And we as Americans cannot allow political officials to even talk about what we have the right to go find. My friends, that's socialism. That's communism. When your government officials restrict your ability and your freedoms to find what you need to make your decisions, it's already here. It's already here. And we, as citizens of this country, have to make sure that we never allow any political entity to control our internet and control our ability as citizens to go and find the information that we need in any method, whether it be picking up our telephone, picking up a magazine, picking up a newspaper, going out onto the internet, going to social media. We have to have the rights to do that, or we're never going to be getting the right information that we need to make an educated, rational, intelligent decision, regardless of what that topic is, whether it's taxes, an election, buying a home, car prices, buying a car, whatever. We cannot allow our government to start restricting what we do. We've already seen them trying to do it with social media and restricting and censoring our point of view. This is huge, and everybody needs to put it in the front of their mind as we move past this election, especially if the election falls to the left. These things that we are now entitled to are at risk. They are. Make no mistake. They are at risk. The 5 polls that I looked at today say this will be a landslide and Donald Trump will be reelected. All I can say is there cannot be, moving forward, such disparity in the information provided to you and I. This has got to get under control. And we as the citizens, as the boss, elected officials, they are responsible to us. We have to start holding our elected officials accountable for their decisions, or our republic will fade away.